It doesn't matter whether it's a 17-point lead built in the first quarter or a 1-minute lead taken with 1:01 left in the game. Doesn't matter. No lead is safe with this team, and bad teams continue to find ways to lose, and that's what the Dolphins are, and that's what the Dolphins are doing right now. Tua's awful in the second half, takes the lead, and the special teams and defense buckle as the Dolphins lose to the Chargers. Let's talk about it. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new.
Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Field down the near side, man open, touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's going to open the touchdown again! Let's go!
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We're back here for another one. I mean, I say what's good, knowing damn well ain't nothing good in Dolphin land right now. So let's get this out of the way here. Because I see, one thing about you Dolphin fans that never ceases to amaze me, whenever this team loses, you guys are immediately to the blame game. You guys got to find out who to blame and who to point the finger at. And that just, instead of just sitting back and realizing your team fucking sucks right now, you guys are more worried about the blame game. But let's play the blame game for a second. Okay? Guess what? Here's the deal. Had that final sequence not happened, I would have sat here and said, this is Tua's fault today. But anyone who wants to sit here and said this is all Tua's fault, you're fucking delusional. Listen to me right now. The curse words are flying today. We're 1-5. I don't give a shit. You're fucking delusional if you think this was just Tua's fault. Had that final sequence not happened, 110% I would agree with you. 110%. This man gave you the lead with 1:01 left, and you allow a 40-yard return, and then Dante Trader whiffs on what should be an easy tackle, and Ladd McConkey's off to the races for a 40-plus yard gain into field goal range. So what, we're just dismissing that? Just, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter now. Oh, that doesn't matter because Tua threw a pick in the third quarter, so it doesn't matter now that the defense and special teams buckled in the final fucking minute when they had to hold the lead. Give me a fucking break. Tua was shit in the second half. Tua was awful in the second half, but at the end of the day, he gave you guys the chance to win the game. Jalen Phillips had chances at multiple sacks on the final drive and couldn't bring Herbert down. And this guy wants to get paid. What are you on? This is not a one-man's fault. Look at what the final minute did. How many people have to take blame just for the final minute? Weaver, the defense, Trader, Ackerman, special teams. I've named 5 alone. Jalen Phillips, add that to the list. That's 6. That's 6 people I named in the final minute that need to sit there and take blame. Tua was shit in the second half, but he gave us a chance to win if you're being objective about it. When it mattered most, he took the lead against a team that was above 500 with 101 left on the clock. And if you were watching me live, what was I sitting here saying? What was I sitting here saying? There's too much time on the clock because of this defense. There's too much time on the clock. Brother, you know how much blame there is to go around just for the final minute? Should have never did. This team and their ability to find ways to lose games is like the best thing about them right now. And it's the worst thing for us. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that disgusting, Drexen? 30 seconds is too much time. That's disgusting. That tells you what we think of our defense. By the way, the defense that once again allowed 120 plus yards to a backup running back. Kamani Vidal, 18 carries, 124 yards. He averaged 6.9 yards per carry. Dude, Tua was awful in the second half, but you shouldn't be losing that game. But again, we go back to what's the thing we always talk about with the offense. If Tua isn't perfect, we don't stand a chance. This has been now, it was like this last year, and it's like this again this year. If the quarterback is not perfect, we do not stand a chance. And yeah, that's another key mistake late in the game, 110%. Washington running out of bounds and not stopping the clock to waste the final timeout. And, you know, that's again, you know, that's a good point. Malik Washington not running out of bounds and not forcing them to use their final timeout is another one. No, it's Weaver's second year. And he's got more talent than what he had last year. Like, Jalen Phillips, don't pay this guy. Trade this guy. Get this guy out of here. Sorry, I'd rather give the reps to Chop. And you want something that's really going to piss you off? You want something that's really going to piss you off and tap your ass? Go back and watch that Lad McConkey play again and watch Chop. Watch Chop on that play. Boys and girls, the hold is so blatant. The tackle has Chop's back of the jersey at his neck and the jersey down by the waist. He's literally two-hand holding him to stop him from getting to Herbert, and there's no call. Go look at that final, at that Lad McConkey game. Go watch the hold on Chop Robinson. It's so blatant, and it's such a critical moment, and it's with two hands. That's what makes it even worse. My God. Like, and Phillips not cleaning up these sacks in the last moment, brother. I mean, what are we talking about, Jalen Phillips? I mean, I'm going to be the one to say it. I'll say it, okay? Jalen Phillips has not been good this year at all. At all. I don't know whether he's lost something from the injuries. I don't know, but he hasn't looked good. I would trade Jalen Phillips this week. And I'm going to say this again. Y'all complaining about Kenneth Grant and blah, blah, blah. And at least the guy had a sack today. Dante Trader, and I've actually been talking about this quite a bit. Dante Trader is the worst defensive rookie for this team. It was Jason Marshall, and then Jason Marshall got hurt. But right now, the worst defensive rookie for this team has been Dante Trader. And how you whiff on that tackle, man. Like, you know, we thought Ifeatu Melifonwu in the safety room would be a little... Let's be honest, it's Minka and a bunch of jabronis. Let's be real here. It's Minka and a bunch of jabronis in that safety room. Ashton Davis looked good at the beginning. He's been terrible. Ifeatu Melifonwu, he's so good that Dante Trader is getting reps with how bad he's been playing. So that tells you Ifeatu Melifonwu hasn't been good. Ethan Bonner comes back today. He didn't look good at all. I don't know, man. You know, like, KJ Britt actually ended up being really good filling in for Tyrell Dotson. I don't know. And they're not going to... No changes are coming. Here come no changes. Don't worry. Here it comes. Everything's gravy. No more changes. You know, Justin Herbert, you know, he was good today. You know, he made plays at the end there and stayed up. But, I mean, inexcusable on Jalen Phillips' part. This defense had 39 seconds, and they blew the fucking game. How do you, like... 101, how do you allow a 40-yard... This goes back to what? You know what? This is just it's a different version of when we had the punt return for a touchdown and then on the ensuing kickoff, allowed the kickoff return for a touchdown. Like, the what... My God, I don't even know what to say right now. Like, absolutely pathetic. I don't know how you do not fire someone after this. I just don't know how you don't fire someone after this. I honestly don't know how someone doesn't get fired over that. Like, this team and the way... you know, this team... The way they're finding ways to lose is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This defense is embarrassing. I can't believe we didn't finish that off. Like, And nothing's going to change. You go for a squib kick instead of just trying to pin him back deep. I just... I don't know. What do you say at this point with this team? Like, seriously, what do you say at this point? Shout out to David. Joseph, we can't keep doing this to ourselves. My heart can't take it every Sunday. I watch this team fuck up my week before I even go to work. Weaver sucks. Call our defense Make a Wish because they are changing the lives of many would-be cast-outs. We all knew this would happen, but wow. Shout out to J-Boy Smith. 1776. He sent 5 Phinside The NFL gift memberships. You know, I mean, I don't know how you're not firing someone right now. Unless you think, well, you know, unless the mindset is, well, might as well just ride this out for the draft pick. But it's amazing how they keep finding new ways to lose, and yet it continues on that no one answers for those ways to lose. Like Stephen Ross walking off the field, he ain't gonna do anything. He ain't gonna do a damn thing. At least I got the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. And again, this team, you know, the fans went from booing the Dolphins in the third quarter to cheering when we took the lead. I don't know if there's going to be a firing, dude. But I do think where the Dolphins need to go is, I think the Dolphins need to be open for business. I think right now, you need to open this team for business. You know, like I'd be looking at trading off and getting picks. I'm at a point where it's time for us to become sellers. Point blank, period. Start selling off assets. You got to set yourself up for the next couple of years. And you got to set up the next regime. Because guess what? They ain't going to be here. And no, Achane is the only untouchable player on this team. I am not trading Devon Achane. So everyone needs to relax with that. He's like one of the few untouchables on this team. Guys, I'm looking at trading our Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, basically anyone. You know, if the right offer comes from Jordan Brooks, he's arguably our best defensive player, let him go. Right offer comes from Minkah Fitzpatrick, let him go. I wouldn't trade Jalen Waddle because you don't want to, if you're drafting a quarterback, you don't want to set them up with nothing. I'd keep Waddle. Darren Waller. If you can get something for Darren Waller right now, if he's created a market, I would trade Darren Waller. You know, Patrick Paul is an untouchable for me. I wouldn't trade Patrick Paul. I wouldn't trade Aaron Brewer. You can have whatever else you want on the offensive line, but no one's going to want it. But, I mean, let's be real here. Besides Paul, Achane, and Waddle because of the need for a receiver, what would really be off limits in terms of a team came knocking? Not much. But they're probably not even going to do that because they probably don't want to give Chris Grier the opportunity to blow those trades. So, how this game went. Started off pretty bad. Started off with that Waddle bobbling a perfect throw. Ball popped up, interception. We should have known right there where we were headed. Run defense did look better early on. But, again, they were struggling to stop fourth downs. They've allowed 8 of 9 fourth downs to be converted this season, that defense. You got Matthew Butler taking an unnecessary roughness penalty when he should have got the field with a long field goal, but instead allowed him to extend the drive. You're burning early timeouts because the defensive personnel wasn't properly set. We got away. We would have had a too many defensive men on the field penalty. Kenneth Grant finally shows up, gets a sack, so he's got a sack and a half on the season. TUA, the inaccuracy, right? Early on, overthrowing Darren Waller for a first down. Then on that second drive, I don't know what their play call was on. I don't know why you'd call that. Play action, roll 2 out to the right. Julian Hill loses his block. He gets owned by Tagovailoa. Wasn't a great play call. Tua sacked, ends that drive. Then on the ensuing drive, we get the ball back because a great punch out by Rasul Douglas, who continues to be one of the best defenders for this team. There's another name if someone's interested. Achane comes back with that big 49-yard run and a great blocks in space by Cole Strange and Aaron Brewers. Then right back to it. Right away you allow a 38-yard run to Vidal. Again, Vidal finishing with over 120 yards against you. A backup running back again. One consistent theme through this game was, especially early on, Dolphins were giving up a lot on second down. Like for the first 3 quarters, the Chargers were in a lot of third and shorts. Right? So now that doesn't mean they converted. The Chargers were only 1 for 7 on third down in the first half. But to start the second half, the Chargers were 4 for 4 on third down. So they started to get it together a little bit. KJ Britt, he had a good game, I thought. I thought he had a pretty good game. Stepping in for Dotson. You know, he had, what do you have, like 9 tackles in the first half? Then we had Tua causing that neutral zone infraction with the hard count to end the first quarter. Tua was converting some third downs, converted one to Waller with pressure. But guess what happened? Brewer was called on the hold and that negated the first down. And what ended up happening? 3rd and 18, we try a trick play, a screen to Waddle, then a throw across to the other side of the field to Achane, only gained 8. And then you got Riley Patterson missing that 57-yard field goal while their guy, Dicker, is kicking 58-yard field goals. That missed field goal ends up hurting. Ends up hurting this team hard. Because if you go by the end, we actually would have won this game. right? We would have won this game. But I mean, that miss by Patterson was, that ended up being, not many people are going to talk about that play, but that ended up costing us in the end. Right? So, I don't know. Missed field goal ends up hurting us for sure. The Dolphins on their first 4 drives, the offensive line killed 2 of them with a sack and a holding. The tackling all day for the defense was terrible. I thought Ethan Bonner wasn't good at all. You had, again, another bad snap on a 3rd down that led to a rush throw that's incomplete, was broken up to Malik. Thank God their right tackle, Bobby Hart, was taking all those false starts at certain points, too. You kept the Chargers to 0-3 in the red zone in the first half, but Vidal had 9 carries for 72 yards in that first half. That catch by Waddle on the 45-yard catch that he bobbled and hauled in while sliding out of bounds, fantastic. But again, look at here. Borum called for illegal hands to the face on an Achane completion that Miami would have been inside the 10. Instead, Miami had to settle for a field goal. So, the field goal miss, right? We had the field goal miss. Then we have Borum costing us points, right? We would have had a 1st and 10 with about 40 seconds left at the LA 9. Instead, I mean, that's 7 points right there off the board because of mistakes. Shout out to KJ Britt. 9 tackles in that first half. Phenomenal. I thought there was terrible play calling by McDaniel to start the second half. You got a run to the left side that has had no push all game. And then you follow that with a screen that's blown up instantly. And then Tua, 3rd and 13, forcing it, pushing it into tight coverage, and the throws behind Achane when that needed to be on the money to even have a chance, intercepted. And then you get an easy touchdown follow. Tua then gets back. He overthrew Waller earlier for a first down. He does it again, overthrows Waddle for a first down. Then you got Jonah giving up a sack to end the drive, and boos start raining down. You look around, there was tons of empty seats in Hard Rock. Chargers didn't have a 3rd down longer than 5 yards in the whole 3rd quarter. Herbert, that adjustment they made was just take everything underneath. It worked. I thought it was another game where Zach Sealer was constantly on his ass too much. No Waller involvement until that touchdown in the second half. To me, is criminal. I thought Tua was flushed out a lot today. Not so much just by design, but there was pressure for sure. Jonah, it's a struggle right now for Jonah, man. Thank God T.R. Tarkald for roughing that passer, because then that set us up to go out of a tight, heavy formation toss to Achane to make it 26-20. Then after that, we get a great stand by the defense, right? Give the offense a shot. Great stand by the defense. Great stand by the defense to force to force what? They only allowed 4 plays on that drive, a 14-yard pass to start, but then a 1-yard run and then 2 straight incompletions and a punt. And then the Dolphins, 13 plays, 82 yards, 5:33 left. Great catch by Waddle on the tip pass in the middle of that drive to the LA 35. Malik Washington makes a critical error, right? Pushed out of bounds at the LA 7 with 59 seconds left on 2nd and goal. The Chargers had 1 timeout left. You would have forced them to use their final timeout. Nope. And then the next play is a 7-yard touchdown pass. Tua Tagovailoa with 46 seconds finds Waller for 7 yards wide open in the end zone. And then what happens? Riley Patterson squib kick. A 40-yard return allowed to Miller Hines to bring it out to the 41. Then you force an incompletion to get him to 2nd and 10. And then there's a non-hold call on Chop Robinson. Jalen Phillips doesn't finish the sack off. Should have actually had a sack on the first incompletion on that drive. Sealer was in there. A bunch of guys were in there. You couldn't bring him down. Then again, you don't bring him down on 2nd and 10. He somehow stays up, gets the ball to Ladd McConkey, who's one-on-one with Dante Trader. Dante Trader takes a terrible angle, whiffs on the tackle, and McConkey 42 yards to the Miami 17. Game, set, match. Chargers got the ball on the kickoff with 46 seconds left, and you allow them to win that game. Tua Tagovailoa tells reporters that the Dolphins player had been late and or skipping players-only meetings in recent weeks. A half-competent defense is 4-1 or 3-2. I agree. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa said earlier some players have been either late or missing from player-led meetings. Coach Mike McDaniel noted these are extra meetings from player requirements, but that his QB was holding teammates accountable. Unbelievable. But the culture's changed. I thought the culture changed, people. I thought we went through this big culture change. What happened? I mean, and again, Jordan Brooks, when asked with Kamani Vidal what he was doing well, nothing. Continues to be ourselves. And now the finger pointing has begun. Now Tua Tagovailoa is throwing. I don't even want to say throwing, but he's calling out players who aren't all in. Unbelievable. And the Dolphins were 19-5 coming into the season when scoring 3 touchdowns in the McDaniel era. They are 1-4 this season when scoring 3 touchdowns. They need to score 4 touchdowns per game to even stand a chance right now with this defense. I don't know what to say. Unbelievable. This team continues to be their own worst enemy. I don't know what to say anymore with this team. Like, you guys are missing players only meetings. I want to know What Achan's the only one that's probably got an excuse to miss them with how he's been playing. Achan's the only one that's got, you know, that can at least say, hey man, I'm playing well, I don't need to go to that stuff. Unbelievable. And this team is broken, man. The Miami Dolphins are broken. Like, that's no, what else is there to say? The Miami Dolphins right now are broken. And who's going to fix it? And do we trust Stephen Ross to put the right people in place to fix this? This team is broken, man. And what's the most disheartening thing is it looks like there's no hope in sight. You know, you got players. I know they're players only meetings, so, you know, they're not really like, you know, technically missing work meetings. But man, if you're not going to show up for the players only meetings, that just tell us without telling us you don't believe and you're just there to collect the check. Tired of this game, of this team right now, man. It's pathetic. Having to watch this, man. This is turning into something you wouldn't wish on your own worst enemy, is to being a fan of this team. I just got no. I got. There's no, like, look at this. Think about this. 49 seconds left, and I'm sitting up here saying during the live reaction that we gave them too much time. I already knew we gave them too much time on the clock. Like, how pathetic is that? How pathetic is that? And I just cannot believe Jalen Phillips, how bad he's been. Trade this guy. The Dolphins are broken, and I don't think there's anyone in that building right now who has what it takes to fix it or has what it takes to put the right people in charge to fix it. I don't think there's going to be any firings today. I am not expecting to wake up tomorrow morning or get a notification tonight. I'm not expecting it at all. Man. I wish I still spoke with my dad, because if I did, I would call him right now and tell him, thanks for making me a Dolphin fan. Like, how do you come back from a 13-point deficit just to give it up like that? You know? Tua Tagovailoa on that final drive to take the lead. 8 for 8, 57 yards. Passing touchdown. And this is what happens. Just pathetic. Just downright pathetic. Shout out to the sponsor of this video. That, of course, is Sleeper. Think you know football? Try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code Phinside, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And right now, without a deposit, you sign up and Sleeper is giving you a free $20 to play with. So use my code, go get that free $20 and at least try and go do something positive on this game day being a Dolphin fan, because you know the Dolphins aren't going to do it for you. Unbelievable. I can't believe this team lost. Well, then again, again, blew a 17-point lead last week. What good is a 1-point lead, even if there is 49 seconds left? Absolutely pathetic. And again, the worst part about it is we know this team continues to find ways to lose, but no one's being held accountable by Stephen Ross. And it needs to, I'm telling you, listen, I know TUA mentioning that people aren't showing up for these player-led meetings is going to be like, well, they're not Mike's-led. But still, that right there shows you there's no belief. That right there shows you that there's guys in that building that are already, have been over the past couple of weeks, only in business for themselves. That's it. That just shows you that there's not a lot of belief. There's not a lot of hope in that locker room. There's already guys checked out. I don't know what to say anymore about this team. I will say this, though. Fans deserve better than what they're seeing right here. We all said the expectation this season was at minimum a playoff win. We're not even going to get to the playoffs. We might be picking in the top 5, or at worst, it's looking at as a top 10 right now. Think about that. While our owner continues to sit back and allow this mess to continue. Our owner continues to act like all of us have all the time in the world. For a guy who's a billionaire, you'd think he'd take the saying of time is money a little bit more serious, no? Especially as he's into his 80s. But apparently not. Apparently we got all the time in the world to figure this one out. I'll keep saying it after every loss. You should have made the change after they got blown out 33-8. You should have blown this up. It was clear as day. The writing was on the wall. The guys you went to bat for embarrassed you and made you look like an idiot in week 1. And instead of making a move, showing a set of balls, and potentially changing the course of the season, who are you? Right? Who are you? You're Oliver Twist to Mike McDaniel and Weaver and this. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please, sir, can I have some more loss? Please, sir, can you make me look like an idiot even more, sir? That's what you chose. To be the Oliver Twist of owners. Instead of showing a set of cojones. And here we are. The offensive line sucks. The front seven sucks on the defense. The safety room besides Minka sucks. The corner room besides Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas sucks. And yet here we are. Guys, smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. It's Thanksgiving for me tomorrow in Canada, and I got nothing to be thankful for as a Dolphin fan, but I'm thankful for you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or, hey, if breaking news happens and someone gets canned, I'll be here. Fins up. We'll see you on the next one. Go Jays.